Hey everybody, it's Mark Masters. It's Monday night. It's Always Bookin Comedy. We got Joseph Marino figuring out his stuff over here from Phoenix, Arizona. I hope everybody's doing great, having a great week. While we're waiting for Joseph, you're sideways. Maybe you could rotate or there you go.
Okay.
Um,
I'm on a phone right now, so.
Okay, that will work. No time to fix it now. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. I'm cold. I'm in Pine Top. It's been raining all day.
Huh. What are you doing up in Pine Top?
I'm at the Honda Casino. Me and
Oh, I've been in that room. That's
yeah,
fun. Who are you with?
I'm with comedian Roy Haber,
Okay.
and we just did Mescalero on Thursday. We drove up on Wednesday.
Nice. I love Mescalero.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
DJ Fizzle or something.
Yeah, Fizzo, I think.
Yeah. How was that show?
It was a lot of fun. Some of the people that I've talked to beforehand have they kind of painted it in a worse light than I think it was. It was
All
a good
right.
time. I had fun.
I like that glass half full attitude. That's great.
Yeah.
That's terrific. And what a beautiful property, right? Mescalero.
Yeah, I thought I got screwed by being on the bottom floor, and then I realized that it opened out onto the lake.
Yeah.
So
Such a pretty place. Yeah.
yeah,
Into the Mountain Gods Casino. If anybody's looking for a unique vacation spot, kind of a small world coincidence. I do a lot of work with the town of Vail, Colorado, a fancy ski resort, and they have been a host or been close to being a host to something like the Xterra outdoor triathlon international event or mountain biking event or some kind of, extreme sports, outdoorsy summertime thing. And apparently, Into the Mountain Gods got the contract for that for like the next several years. So I was surprised to see that news. And for what I've been going to that place for years and didn't realize it was really on the map as a national destination, but it's increasingly becoming a place for people to go to.
Yeah, it seems that way. I heard they have a really nice golf course. I don't golf and didn't have time to on the thing, but I saw they have a bunch of stuff to do over there.
This last trip, I went golfing. I went with a great comedian, Rennell Hardin. He's a big golfer, and so he convinced me to go golfing one morning, and it was awesome. We saw an elk on the course.
Nice.
And some deer. It was beautiful, very pretty course, and they took good care of us. It was a lot of fun. So that's cool. That must be a long drive from Phoenix.
Yeah, it was 8 hours, and then we did it overnight there and then overnight back because we kind of just wanted to get it done with. So
You mean Mescalero?
Yeah.
Oh,
I picked them up from the airport. We drove right to Mescalero in pitch black, just talking to myself to keep myself awake. And then we went there, go to bed at 7 a.m., do the show. 9 o'clock at night again, we're hitting the road back to Phoenix.
Brutal.
Yeah, no, it wasn't fun.
Okay. Where's he from? I don't know. Was it Ron?
He was born in Israel. Now he grew up in Kentucky. We had a lot of time to talk on the drive.
Okay.
Right now, he's not really based anywhere. He spends chunks of time in different parts of the world. So I know this time, when I picked him up from the airport, I believe he just left Vancouver area. I know he spends 4 months of the year in Cabo. He's going to be in New Zealand for a couple weeks. He kind of just travels around, doesn't stick in any one spot for too long.
Okay. Traveling man. So when he rushed back to Phoenix, is he doing shows or he's just...
Yeah. So the way I got into contact with him is because he was doing JP's, which is my home club in Gilbert. And so he had a feature for these two shows booked. Something happened about a month or so in advance. I got a call asking if I could do the shows. And so I said yes. So Wednesday I picked him up from the airport. We did the shows the next day. And then I dropped him off at the comedy condo for JP's. He did his weekend.
Got it.
I picked him up the following morning, drove here. We're doing our show tonight. And then tomorrow I drop him off back into the wild.
Oh, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jim Perry is a legend. The guy who runs JP's. He's an Always Bookin Comedy legend. He's got 2 episodes already, or 1.5, 1 3/4 episodes, depending on how you measure.
How does that happen? How do you get a
Uh,
3/4 episode?
Last week, actually, a guest didn't show up, and Jim was live streaming and said hello in the chat. And I said, "Hey, do you want to get on live and chat with me?" And he did, and we had a great conversation.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
He's a super sweet guy.
yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that put me on with this company for like
berries.
the entertainment. Yeah, he put me on with Barry Neal, and then he did that a couple months ago. This is the first time they've used me, but he was the one that put me on with them, so that was awesome. I really appreciate that.
That's great. How else is life? I remember last time we chatted, you were thinking about doing this game show thing.
I did do that.
Right. Well, tell it. Lead up to it. Let's make it a nice long story.
So I was serving at a PF Chang's for like 5-6 years. Okay. Started. I was having fun.
I
kept
just ate
going.
PF Chang's like a week and a half ago, and I thought of you when I was there.
Yeah.
They're doing great things, man. They're doing great things. They're good food. Good food.
Yeah. I worked there so long that even if I ordered the best thing on the menu, I was sick of it.
I'm sure.
I just had everything too much. But I worked there for about like 5 or 6 years. I had ups and downs. The last couple of years, I was just not enjoying it anymore, and I wanted to move to a new location, which is this place called Game Show Battle Rooms, which there's a lot of comedians in the Phoenix scene that do it, and essentially you're hosting game shows for birthday parties or team building events, and so like every show starts with let's say it's like Family Feud in every exact way except for the name.
Right.
And then in our like classic room, we'd have like a wheel spinning game. What could that be? We'd match some prices, drop some pucks off a big pegboard. And then we have like another room, which is more physical challenges and like mind matching games.
Okay.
And it's a lot of fun because sometimes you're behind the chair and you're kind of Vanna White from the chair. So you reveal the answers and you read off the questions and you're the one pressing the buttons, making sure the game runs. But then the more fun spot is when you're the host and you're like the Steve Harvey. You've got this bright, obnoxious colored jacket, whatever one you want to pick. It's so loud. And then you get to go and talk to the people individually as you're playing the game, which helps because a lot of time it's not exactly crowd work as in like stand up, but it's the same muscle because they come up with their own game show names and you get to play off that throughout the entire show. You get to make fun of their answers in a polite, playful way. But you have fun with it, and it kind of just, even if you're not on stage doing stand-up, you are on stage with a microphone in your hand, talking to people with no script, essentially. You have a couple of beats that you have to hit for every show, but it's a lot of fun to work that muscle of just playing with them and not worrying so much so that when I am on stage at a show and something random happens, I'm used to it even more by now.
Right.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I wonder, do you think that waiting tables helped you in a similar way at all?
I think it can, especially in the fact that I'm not worried about like talking to strangers. That's never been the thing because I worked in like customer service. Even before I worked in a restaurant, but I have so much time talking to strangers. I think it can help with stand up if you like practice, like, you sneak a bit in there or you play with them a little bit. But by the end, I wasn't even trying to do that. I was like, I just want to get my money, get out of here. I don't care what you want to eat. I've had it all. Yeah, I don't care. And then, do you just get so frustrated when people are ready to order and then they have a 5-minute conversation and you have other tables waiting? You're like, oh my God. Like this is if I tried to practice crowd work with these guys right now, I'd get fired because all my tables didn't get their food.
Right. We got a comment from North Carolina. A reminder: if you're live, you can ask questions on the YouTube. That's a good point. I don't have interest in bar trivia, but it is good practice for hosting. And so what's the name of that business? The game show?
So it's called Game Show Battle Rooms Studios, and they actually have a bunch of them throughout Arizona. Throughout America. There's 2 in Arizona. I just saw on their website they're opening one in Austin, Texas. I know they have one in Charlotte. There's about like 20 locations, give or take. I don't know that off the top of my head, but they are expanding, and I don't know how long of a company, how long they've been around as a company. I know My location's only been there for maybe like 2-3 years. But I know a handful of comics have worked there. And what's also great about working at this job, it's also what's not great, is that you give them your availability just like you would a club, and you give it to them 2 weeks at a time. So if you get booked, you could just put it in your availability. I'm not available to work these nights or these days, or I'm out of town for so-and-so, which is great because it offers the utmost flexibility of any job I've ever had in terms of scheduling around comedy. The issue is that there's no work if there's no book shows. So even if on the days you are available, if there's like one show and you happen to not be on it, you're like, oh man, I miss taking tables right now.
Right. Do you have a relationship still with PF Chang's, and like, I don't know, when they're busy, like Christmas time, do you think you could poach some shifts, or is it
I think I easily,
it
is a corporate restaurant, but I could totally do that. I've been there for 6 years. I left on good terms with all my managers. It wasn't a fiery parting. It was just me being ready to move on. And then doing it. So if I could
to have you, if you came back during a busy time.
No, my manager told me that when I was leaving. He's like, if you ever, want to come back, let me know. You always have a spot. And so I could do that. I would probably consider that more during the summertime, because our busy season is the same as a restaurant season. Towards the holidays is when we get bigger parties. And then also like when we get corporate parties, they book a lot of money.
The game show business is busy then, but it slows down in the summer, especially.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same setup as like a restaurant, busier in the winter, slower in the summer. But the hourly's higher and the tips, considering the amount of work you do, and if you get a good schedule, are better.
Are the events all day long? Are they nighttime or daytime? The game shows.
Both. So they open at, I want to say like 9 or 10, and they close at 9 or 10. But we're only open if there's a show booked, and the shows last about an hour to 75 minutes. If you buy, they do a thing where, like for a corporate event, you could buy both rooms, and then they will do both rooms. We'll give them a longer show, and you get to play with them for more.
When you give your avails, are they hour by hour, or are they a full day at a time? You could
do either or. I will do it full day, unless I have a show that night, and then I will say, 5 p.m. I have a hard out. I need to be walking out the door at 5 p.m. I got to go do 2 shows at JP's. I need time to change clothes and get ready.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Or if you have, it's super flexible. I've only been there full time for about like 2-3 months right now, so we will see how it goes.
Okay.
See how it goes. I kind of in my head I was like, I'm going to take this time to be a broke comedian.
Okay.
And focus on stand up more than anything else, because I'm at a spot right now where I could take that risk, and I still have time to switch back if it doesn't work out.
Okay, nice.
I could always go back.
Tips on saving money?
Actually, so this is something Roy just showed me. He's the headliner I'm with right now. When we're hitting the road, he's like, bring a cooler and bring ice. And where he was at the last condo, he just like, tell me what you want. I will load up on like all these breakfast amenities they give us, and we're not going to have to pay for anything until we get our next meal voucher at the next casino. We just have a ice chest loaded up with snacks, and we're just heating them up as we need.
Cool.
Which is super awesome.
Nice. Any legendary stories from the game show thing? People, I don't know, showing up drunk or...
Oh, they're always hammered at the late shows on the weekends. They're a lot of fun
at this business.
We do. So we don't serve like hard liquors or spirits, but we do have a lot of beer cans and like cocktail in a can type situations. So oftentimes people will come in already pre-gaming, or they'll come in pre-gaming and still want to drink more at the place. And we had one show where this grandma of all people there was hammered, and she was trying to like throw it back for one of the questions, and she popped her leg up on the table and she tried to twerk and just fell right on her butt, which was super funny because of all the injuries to happen. That's not the one you were expecting. And then we had another one where we had a birthday party for this lady's daughter, and she came in. They were all hammered, buying a bunch of drinks. They're having a great show, to the point where technically shows are only supposed to be an hour long, but they're having such a good time. Me and the guy we're working, we both looked at each other like, we're gonna go long, because he's a comic too, and we're both like, we run the light when we're killing, so we're gonna keep going. And they had, at one point, the mom came up and they kept giving us money the whole time to rig the game for the daughter. And so she came up, she's like, I'll give you $20 to play this song for the birthday girl, and then this song for me. And so we did it. And like throughout the whole game, the mom starts twerking whenever we play her song. And the daughter at first is like, oh my God, no. And then she has more of her drinks, and 10 minutes later, they're back to back twerking with each other. You could see her dad and her boyfriend are both like, oh my God, I gotta get this lady home. And then, like, to the point, she kept tipping us after the show, kept yapping at us, and her husband was like, you gotta go. We gotta go. Everybody's gone. They've been closed for 30 minutes. We're embarrassing ourselves. We need to leave.
That's wild. Let's talk about JP's a little bit. You're a regular there. How does scheduling work around that?
So Jim does his schedules. He does it where he has his set regulars, and they all get 1 weekend out of the month. So I think there's 12 regulars. So 3 for the first weekend, 3 for the second weekend, 3 through the third, 3 for the fourth. I'm on week 4. I'm with Ezra Stormont and Chase Harder. I don't know if you are familiar with those people.
Ezra sounds very familiar, that name.
Yeah. They're both very, very talented. Chase just headlined Mic Drop Mania in Chandler last night. So we got a good roster, and he rotates them. So like week 1, we'll have different people. Week 2, week 3, week 4. If there happens to be a 5th weekend in the month, he will throw out to his alternates, which are people that have come up in like his classes that he teaches, which is like kind of his way of vetting, like, are you trying and are you a problem to deal with? Because he doesn't want to deal with problems. And I've seen him deal with people that are funny but are just problems, and it's not worth it for him. We've had the conversation behind closed doors. So he picks people he can rely on in every way. And then so he has like his list of alternates that are honestly on there. As soon as any of us get too busy and we can't be doing the regular spots at JP's, or we move and we have to get removed from the list, somebody off that list gets promoted up. And then oftentimes he has hosts, and if you do well enough for a long enough time, you get added to the alternate list, you get added to the feature list, which is how I got to a feature, because I was hosting there probably 2 years. And then 2 years before that, I was hosting his open mic, just because he decided one day to tap me on the shoulder. Like, he wants to go home. You're going to host the mic. He didn't ask me. He just decided. And I was like, okay.
Nice.
And then that kind of started a beautiful thing.
So let me make sure I understand. You're week 4 and there's 3 of you. Does that mean when your weekend comes up, all 3 of you are on the show, or
that's correct? 3? So it's kind of more of like a showcase club. Okay. So the headliner is not doing like a full headlining set. It's usually like 25, 30, depending on the show. And then I know Jim, when he wasn't very new into comedy when he opened the club, it was kind of a way to get him stage time too. So I feel like he's repaying that in terms more to like us than the headliners necessarily, because the headliners still make the same as if they were doing an hour. But on the other side, he's giving 4 comics with the host, 4 comics opportunities in a real room with real people to do an actual set and start transitioning out of the open mic scene. So it feels really like he's doing it for us, and I can appreciate that.
So the 3 of you, are you like ranked in order, or do all 3 of you do the same length? You know what I'm.
Usually we're supposed to, not always. Are we ranked in order to our face? No. But you look at the list, you see where you are on it. You go like, well, I know he puts him at the end for a reason of the people. Okay. I know you could see how he starts to structure the list, and you could tell definitely more with the alternates. When the alternates come in, you're like, okay, even if I'm normally like the second or third person on the list, now I'm the first person on the list, just because it kind of gives you a little buffer to get the crowd, keep the crowd going. And then even if the alternate they're not as versed, it's not their fault. They don't have as much stage time. They're still figuring out maybe a 10-minute set.
Right.
You cushion them in a way, like you put a new joke. He slots them in like new jokes.
Got it.
So it's not like we have numbers, but you know what they are.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. Neat. Well, it sounds like that's been a great experience for you and a good way to develop your career as you've moved up in his system.
Yeah. It's been great. I'm trying to break into some other clubs right now. Just working, trying to do as much as I can.
Yeah. Why don't you pick one and tell us about their process?
Okay. So I'll go with the club I feel like I'm more in at, but I wouldn't say quite. And actually, okay, I'll do, let's just do the House of Comedy right now. Cause I feel like that feels the most that I'm in, even though I'm not fully in. Yeah. But honestly, the way I got in, I would go on my friend shows anytime I saw a friend that was hosting a show, especially if it's at a real club. I would bother them as soon as I can.
You mean hosting or producing?
Producing.
Okay,
producing because they have like a couple of shows. Like my friend Mason Spina runs one. Chase Harder runs a show. Anytime I see a friend, especially if they're doing it at a comedy club, I will just ask them if I can get on the next one or an upcoming one.
Yep. And
then do my best because it's a real place. And then with one of my friends, he is close. He's fully in there. He will tell me, he's like, hey, I'm going to make sure Stephanie watches your set during tonight's show. And I'm going to ask her to give you feedback. So that way it kind of forces us to talk to each other. I also make a point of talking to any of the managers whenever I can, just to give FaceTime, be like, hey, I'm not an asshole and I'm here on time every time.
Yeah.
And then so I do the shows, do the best I can. And then I would start, at the time, there was a guy, Mike Dapper, who was booking House of Comedy. And so I would ask him if I could get on the guest spots for like the showcase show. And I would start doing those. And I would always make sure to talk to him afterwards, get his opinions and feedback. And he was like, hey, you're good. I'm going to keep having you do guest spots on these. So you don't have to like bring the people for the showcase, because it is really kind of a bringer show. Mm-hmm. And then at House of Comedy, a big thing that helps too is they have a contest that they do once a year, which it's not like, no contests are, in my opinion, super, super fun. Mm-hmm. But I did the contest. I made it to the finals. And at that point, I felt confident. I was like, you know what? Now Mike is no longer with the company. Stephanie's more in charge of booking the support. I made it to the finals. I know she likes me. She knows I'm polite and reliable. Mm-hmm. I feel confident enough just straight up asking her, can I get a guest spot on this weekend? And that's been getting me more and more in the door, because she's starting to say yes. Sometimes the headliner doesn't want one. Sometimes they're booked. Yeah. It is what it is. But I now feel, and I now know that I can ask. And then the next time I was going to plan on doing this on Saturday if they didn't have a guest spot booked. But the next time I go in, I'm just going to straight up ask her to her face, what do I need to do next to move on to the real spots? Right. And I will do what you tell me to do. I'll show you that I'm trying, and then I'm going to do whatever it takes.
Yeah. So when you ask for a guest spot, how far in advance is that? Like week of? The reason I'm asking is, how do you juggle that with the game show stuff? Because one weekend a month is booked at JP's, and then you got 3 other weekends to try and get up to these other clubs.
So it was a little bit different before. We just had a slight management change at our company. So before, this was the nightmare about the other place, is we would get our schedule. This is not how it is anymore, but we get our schedule only one day in advance. So because it was super annoying. But if I book a show before the schedule's out, I can change my availability before it's out. So, but now it's a little bit different. So I'm still, as long as the schedule's not out, we get it maybe like the next 4 or 5 days. Mm-hmm. So far, I could still change it for that, day way off in a couple, like just outside that, I could switch it. And also I know Hannibal, a comedian that works at my location, has done this before. Well, he will just go face to face with his manager, be like, hey, I have this opportunity. This is very important to me. Can we make this work? And 9 times out of 10, they'll figure out a way to make it work. Because it's kind of like stand up, where if you can't make your spot, at this place, somebody's going to take it.
Right.
They want the money.
Yeah.
They want the money. It's a fun job, and there's no reason not to do it unless you have something already going on.
Right. Another gig. So anyway, so how far out are you asking for the guest spots?
So for the guest spots, I've had mixed results. Sometimes I'll ask a week and she'll be open to it, but I have to follow up closer to the day of. So I've started just asking her like Thursday about Friday or Saturday. It's like, I know you're going to forget. I know you're open to it, but you're going to forget.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to ask you closer of.
So these are times when you're not booked at JP's and you didn't get a game show and you're interested in whoever the headliner is in working at the club. Does that make sense? Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah. Sometimes it's a headliner thing. If it's a headliner I know and I have worked with, I will also reach out to them directly. Cool. But if I'm just not booked and I've got nothing going on at work and I know I can make it, I will try to shoot my shot at least once or twice a month, because I don't want to abuse the privilege by being like, oh, I'm going to be there every time, I'm asking for all the time. I don't want to be a nuisance.
Yeah.
But closed mouths don't get fed. So I'll put my hand up and beg for scraps when they're available.
Squeaky wheel gets the grease. I got
That's
you.
right. That's right.
Okay. Have you run any shows to try and get yourself stage time?
I tried to start running a show at a place. It's a brewery called 12 West in Mesa, and they have this downstairs area that's perfect. They already have microphones. They already have stage lights. They already have a PA system. They have a whole bar down there. I only know about this place because I went to a wedding after party there. Okay. And about a year and a half ago, me and my friend, I was like, hey, I want to show you this room because I think we could put a show on there. And so we went, we grabbed a couple of drinks. I showed him the room. And then as I started talking to the bartender, asking him, was like, have you guys ever run shows down here? And he was like, nope, we don't do them. Somebody used to do them. It became a problem. We're not doing it anymore. I was like, okay, fair enough. I'm not going to push it. I could see the answer is no. Yeah. And then what's funny is that literally like two months ago, I heard a different comedian talking about producing a show there. And he's like, oh yeah, no, I work there. I'm the manager. So we're going to start doing stuff there. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, dude. I was so mad.
I've definitely had that experience. There's a lot of venues that already know they don't want to do comedy.
Yeah.
Because they had bad experiences in the past.
Yeah, I'm in talks with my friend Cameron. He just moved back from Chicago. He's an Arizona comic, moved out for work, just came back. And I know he wants to start producing apartment shows, because that was apparently a thing in Chicago where you just you go to a nice apartment in the lobby, you post up, and it's free show, and you'll have some people there, and you just get to run some new material. And he's already got all the systems, so we're talking together. We're going to start trying to do that. If that works out, I know my mom has a friend that owns a restaurant and I was talking about a long time ago wanting to do something similar. So I'm thinking about bringing that up again and seeing if I can get the ball rolling on there. Because ultimately, I don't want to run a show to run a show. I want to run a show for stage time. I know how I am with getting people to book me that I'm friends with. And it's like, I already feel bad and I'm your friend. I can't imagine what that's like when it's just every comic that's new in the scene and wants to get on stage barking at you, trying to get it.
Yeah.
Like as soon as the don't tell producer in your scene, as soon as they get outed as the don't tell producer, it's just a flood.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I just contacted or tried to contact the Dallas don't tell producer, because I'm going to be out there for a corporate in February, and we'll see how that works. I've kind of mixed bag of I've done don't tells in probably 5 states at this point, but sometimes they don't want to be contacted, and other times they're excited to get an out of town comic, a different voice. So we'll see.
Yeah.
That. By the way, apartment comedy, if anybody watching this is interested, on February 24th, 2025, the guest was Matt Greenwalt. I think he's in a suburb of Denver, but he runs apartment comedy shows. And I'm sure we talked about that during that episode. So if you want to look up Matt Greenwalt's Always Bookin Comedy episode, it's focused on apartment comedy. If you're trying to bring that to your scene anywhere but Phoenix or the Denver metro area.
What was that? Hey, you know what? What was this guy's name? I'm gonna write it down and watch the episode.
Yeah. Greenwald, GREENWALDT.
Okay.
February 24th, 2025. All right, we got to wrap this up. Joseph, where can people find you?
You can find me on everything. My Instagram, TikTok, YouTube handle. It's just Joseph Marino. It's just my name with the first initial swapped.
Okay.
It's super simple. If you look up my name, it should come up anyway.
All right. Joseph Marino out of Phoenix, Arizona. And if you're in any of these places, I'm going on tour, everybody. I'll be in Utah, Idaho, Oregon, Washington, California between October 22nd and November 8th. 5 states, 18 nights, 18 shows, adding a 19th show. I got 2 nights that I couldn't book, a Sunday and a Tuesday, and it looks like I'm booking a Sunday. So hopefully, solid. At 20 nights on the road and almost all of them booked. So Joseph, thanks for the time, man. Stick around.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Everybody else, we do this every Monday. Huge back catalog. Check out Jim Perry's episode. Check out Matt Greenwald's episode. All kinds of great stuff in there. Have a great week, everybody.